Raider Nation, what's happening? It's your boy Chris from Protect the Show podcast, where my opinions might not always be popular, but they'll always be authentic. We got a lot to talk. Well, actually, we don't got that much to talk about because what the heck did we just watch? I know a lot of you guys are thinking, what the heck did we just watch? I'll tell you what we just watched. We just watched the lowest scoring game in the NFL in the past 16 years. That's what we just watched. It was the only 3-0 game since 2007. It's only the third 3-0 game, in the past 30 years? And the 7th 3-0 game during the Super Bowl era. This game was nasty work. I mean, it was embarrassing, man. It was hard to watch it. For one, just watching it on the screen, you see all the purple everywhere in the stands. But I'm not even going to talk about that today because, I mean, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. You know, we don't support our team in Las Vegas there in person. You know, we're not even going to touch that right now. But, I mean, the way these guys played, it really took me back to that 2016 when Art Shell came back. Because to me, I always ask everybody, like, since you guys have been Raider fans, like, what's kind of been the worst that you've seen our Raiders play? And what was kind of like that worst era? And with me at my age, the thing about the teams that I saw, and I really had a chance to watch closely, it was that 2016 was the one for me because, again, Art Shell came back. I wasn't necessarily upset that he came back because he shouldn't have got fired in the first place. So it was a nostalgia thing for me. Art Shell's back. Hey, we'll give him a chance. Until you see who he started hiring. He hired an offensive coordinator who has had nothing to do with football besides drawing up plays for video games and was running a bed and breakfast establishment. That was our offensive coordinator at the time. That was some of the worst offense and just some of the worst play I've seen us do since, I've been watching football and been watching the Raiders, of course. This took me back to that. It's just unreal. Because first I got to say, shout out to the defense, man. The defense balled out. But just like I always say, them boys are going to get tired sooner or later. But they played, nonstop, full go. Time after time, they're getting the ball back for our offense. Time after time. And the crazy thing is, I know everybody want to blame Josh McDaniels and all that for the beginning. Yeah, I know he built this team, but still, at some point, we got to pinpoint it. It's these players are not executing, man. And it's just crazy. But, shout out to the D. I think they held the Vikings to, 230 yards of offense, which is great. Until you realize that we only did 201 yards of offense, which is ridiculous for an NFL team. These guys get paid millions, man. And not only that, we got one of the most expensive offense. But again, I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse. You guys all know how I feel about it. But it's just unreal watching these guys play. But I'm not going to let it make me upset because, I'm talking to a lot of my peers. They're all upset. I'm done getting super upset. And we'll go into that later. But, when I watched this game, what I saw was just an offense they just were uninspired. But you got to start with that quarterback play. When I'm looking at the offensive line, I don't think they played that bad. I really don't think they played that bad. I'm looking at it, and once the all-22 view comes out, I'll be able to look at it at a different lens and be able to dissect it a little bit more. But, Aiden has to get rid of the ball. He has to make a decision and get rid of the ball. He has to. He's back there just patting. You got to make a decision and go, man. You have to. And then he's just so slow. He cannot move. He can't move, man. It's like in today's NFL, you got to be mobile. I keep saying it over and over. I'm not asking for a Mike Vick. I'm not asking for a Lamar. I'm not asking for a Cam Newton. But we need somebody that has lateral movement, that can step up in and out of the pocket, who has pocket awareness. And again, I understand he's a rookie. There's certain things that he's not going to get right away, and that's fine. And I like Aiden as a player. Like, he seems like he's probably good in the locker room. He seems like to be a well-liked person, but I don't want him to go to war with him. I'm just flat out saying it. To me, the Aiden O'Connell evaluation process is complete for me. And as much as I like AP, I've been one of his biggest supporters, and I still am. I would love for him to be able to retain the job. But today was an example of, coaches that are going to try to win and make hard decisions to do what they got to do to win. Now, I know this is a very unpopular decision or opinion that I'm about to say. 'Cause I brought that up with a lot of my buddies, a lot of my peers that, I create content with. But when you look over and see the Minnesota Vikings struggling on the offensive side of the ball, their coach in his mind is saying, what can I do to give my guys a spark? Because what we're doing right now is not working. We got to give this team a spark somehow. What does that coach do? That coach goes and puts in Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins. Now, is that coach saying, I believe in this guy, I think he should just take over the team? No. He's saying that, hey, what we're doing today is not working. We need a spark. And I need to make the decision now. It probably was a tough decision for him, but he made the decision. And what happened? This defense been playing good all day. They put Nick Mullins in, and what did it do? It provided just enough spark that was needed for them to win the daggone game. So what I'm saying is, which I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, we needed to bench Aiden. Aiden was not getting it done. And again, I am not saying everything was his fault, but we needed some other type of spark. I know a lot of people hate Jimmy G so much. I know the Jimmy G experiment was not good starting off this season. It was not good at all. He led the league in interceptions. I'm the first to admit that. But at what point do you say, hey, because the thing is, the reason we have Aiden in anyway is because we are wanting to evaluate him to see what we're going to do in the offseason. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen enough of Aiden to understand what I'm doing in the offseason. I know what I'm doing in the offseason at this point. We're going to go get us a rookie quarterback. Somebody that hopefully has more upside than a Jimmy G and an Aiden O'Connell. I've seen enough. So bringing in Jimmy to at least try to provide a spark, which he's done before in San Francisco. He's come off the bench, provided a spark, and he's been able to win games. And keep in mind that Jimmy has not played while Bo has been the play caller. And I'm not saying Bo is a great play caller, because we know some of his play calls, actually a lot of his play calls, have been a little suspect lately. And I just think the overall scheme has been a little suspect lately. But at the end of the day, I do feel that Bo will at least be able to, make some plays, because he's not as stubborn as Josh McDaniels. So he'll at least be able to say, hey, I understand what your weaknesses are. I understand what your strengths are. I'm going to try to play to him, because he's trying to do that with O'Connell. Whereas, McDaniels, he was set in his ways. He wanted to run it a certain way. We get it. But my thing is, do I think Jimmy would come and just save the day? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I've seen enough of O'Connell, under this play caller. My thing is, we all wanted to say we want to evaluate what we have. Let's see what Jimmy does with a new play caller. Again, not saying that he's going to do this and do that, but me personally, and I guess I learned this today, because I was still under the impression that we were still going to be playing hard and try to win all the games and try to get to the playoffs. But I got told by some people that that we're not a playoff team, and we should they're already focusing on the draft. And me, and I guess with my ultra competitiveness, mentality, my mind wasn't even there yet. Because I'm never down for the whole tanking thing. My thing is, the games have to be played. You never know who's going to win. I sat here and watched the Chicago Bears beat up on the Detroit Lions. The games have to be played, man. You don't just win because of the names on the paper, the names on the roster. So I'm thinking we're going to play. So that's where my mindset is. So I think we should have put Jimmy in to provide the spark. If it didn't work, it didn't work. But what we saw all game today, it didn't work anyway. 201 total yards on offense. Crazy. And when we did get in the red zone, Hunter Renfrow fumbles. I was talking to my buddy. We both were saying, we hope that doesn't come back and bite us. It absolutely came back and bite us. But we didn't expect that to be the only time we're going to be in the red zone. The dude fumbles the ball on, the 11-yard line. You can't win football games like that. But again, I'm not putting stuff like that on our coach. I've been screaming it. It's all about player execution, man. And it drives me crazy that, I really feel like I'm the only one that is really, saying this. Because most people, when I say it, they're not, that I don't know. So I'm not sure people that saw my Fan Talk Friday last week. I played a clip of Max saying basically what I've been trying to say the whole time.
And that people don't realize is like, if you really break it down, it sounds simple, but like what you said, Josh, like when you go into a game, if you're winning more, like when it comes out to your one-on-one matchups, if you're winning more than you're fucking losing, and if everybody's got that mentality, you're gonna win football. You're going to literally comes down to one-on-one blocks, one-on-one receiver versus DB, linebacker versus running back. Like if you're winning more than you're losing as a team, and you got that mentality, bro, you're gonna win a lot of fucking football games. And if you break it down to that, bro, it's just everyone playing at the highest level, and that's how I feel like it doesn't, like you said, AP, it doesn't matter who the fuck we play. If we're playing at our best, bro, we can beat anybody. I'm not.
That's him saying it. I know we always want to put everything on the coach, but those guys got to execute and win their one-on-one matchups, man. You can't put that on AP. You can't put that on Bo, that Hunter Renfrow fumbles or whatever. If there's missed passes, you can't put that on the coaches. Now, granted, the coaches get enough of, they get enough flack for their part of it, because at the end of the day, we play like this coming off of a bye week. The offense just did not have the right game plan. We should have been, we had 2 weeks to prepare for this. We were supposed to be able to pick them apart. And I'm not saying, that Vikings defense has some players. They got some dogs over there. But we got some dogs on our offense, man. It's just unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And honestly, like I said, I have been an AP supporter. And I'm not turning my back on them yet. But that coaching decision that the Vikings head coach made when their team needed a spark, and we didn't do the same thing. We didn't match that energy, or we didn't do it first. That tells me a lot, man. That tells me a lot. AP doesn't seem like someone that's scared to make tough decisions. Or maybe he just believes in Aiden that much. But, at some point, man, you got to shake things up. And I remember hearing his, press conference, and even before the game, they talked about, hey, if things, aren't looking good, we're going to shake some things up at halftime. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, this could be it. He could shake some things up at halftime, do something to provide a spark. Little did I know, the shaking things up, what he was talking about is having the team come out a little early and doing some calisthenics and stuff, you know, like it was a pregame or something. That was shaking up. All right. You got it. But enough of that, man. Shout out to Max Crosby. Got his 50th sack today. Amazing. You know, the thing is, if we had 22 guys with at least half of the heart and mentality that Max has or Devontae has. I mean, because Devontae was so pissed off. He didn't want to talk to the media. And I don't blame him because at this point, and I've always been the one saying, hey, you know, I want to hold on to Devontae. I don't even want to think about trading him. You know, but at this point, man, I mean, if we can get some compensation, because the thing is, we're not making the right moves to even compete at this point. And today would have been an example for me to say, hey, I understand. I said Aiden gives us the best chance to win, but I need a spark right now. Let me put Jimmy in. If Jimmy crumbles, at least we know. But the fact that that decision wasn't made, it bothers me. But anyway, back to Max. 5th player for the Raiders to ever get 50 sacks. Shout out and salute to you, man. 1st player to ever get it for the Raiders in the first 5 years. Again, Max is different, just built different. You can see Max out there playing, knee hurt. But Max is still out there hustling. He's nonstop. He's a maniac. If we had 22 guys on the team that had half of the heart that Max Crosby did, then we would have something. Max refuses to lose his one-on-one matchup. That's the difference. That's why when you hear him say that right there, he refuses to lose his one-on-one matchup. That's why he doesn't lose that often. He refuses. His whole regimen in the offseason, he takes like 4 days off after the season, then he gets back to it. He's different. Shout out to Max. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to let it get me too upset. Like I said, a lot of my peers are like pissed. A lot of my friends are pissed. I don't let that happen to me anymore. And the main reason is about probably like 3 to 5 years ago, you know, I used to be that guy that always got pissed off at the games, yelling, and it would mess up my whole day, might mess up my whole week. High blood pressure, all that. You know, that used to be me. I was that guy, yelling, screaming, just pissed off if we lost. You know, if I'm out in Oakland or wherever I'm traveling, Chicago, Miami, for the game, if we lost, I may not even want to see no one. I might go to the hotel room and to stay in, just be mad. I won't even go out and enjoy the city. That's not me no more. And the main reason is because sitting here watching these games, at the end of the game, while I'm over here mad that we just lost, I'm seeing these players, you know, high-fiving the guys from the other team, smiling, you know, sharing, you know, swapping jerseys, hugging. Love the sportsmanship. But the thing is, you could tell that they understand that, hey, we lost the game. Now it's over. We move on. And I really had to take a step back and realize that. I'm like, I'm over here pissed off, probably mad at my dogs. You know, they want to go on a walk. I don't even want to take them on a walk because I'm pissed off because the Raiders lost. Or people call me, I don't want to answer because I'm not in the mood to talk because the Raiders lost. But then I think about these players over here showing all their teeth, seeing all these grown men teeth. They hugging and smiling after the game. They all going home to their hot wife. They all going home in their mansion, driving their foreign cars wherever they're going. Probably go have an expensive dinner somewhere. And then I'm over here upset, messing up the rest of my day. Never again, man. You know, a lot of my friends don't even understand why I travel everywhere to go see the team. They say, hey, you travel everywhere, you know, and you go see them lose. I would not let the Raiders control my happiness anymore. So that's why. So whenever I get a chance to travel, the game on Sunday is just icing on the cake. I'm going to have fun for the whole weekend. But that's just me. I don't even want to go on that tangent. But, so what do we do from here? We lost this game. I think at this point, I mean, the playoffs is done. I don't even want to talk about the playoffs anymore. I mean, I honestly thought we had a shot if we could win out. But we apparently we don't want to play. You know, we don't want to play offense. And plus our coach doesn't want to make the proper adjustments to even give us the best chances to win. And if we play like this off of a bye week when we had 2 weeks to prepare, our next game is in a few days, people. We play on Thursday. What's that going to look like? But, you know, at the end of the day, we still love the Shield. Shield always comes first, man. But let me know what you guys say. Am I off base at all? Because again, I take pride in being authentic in my thoughts. My opinions are usually different than others, but the people that, you know, listen to me, we can always have healthy debates going back and forth. I love that. You know, iron sharpens iron. But I don't know. Just as somebody that just ultra competitive, that played football up through college, maybe I just look at the game different than some other people. But I've seen enough of Aiden. We should be playing to win. Sometimes we got to make tough decisions, provide a spark. And that coach for the Minnesota Vikings did that. And that was, you know, salute to him. But thank you guys for checking in with me today. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you guys really know. So I really appreciate you guys. And, you know, after I watch the All 22 film, you know, I'll probably have some additional things I bring up. But, you know, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. You know, it really helps the channel. I want to continue to grow. I'm on my road to 2K. So, you know, I'm going to continue working. But like I always say, you know, players and coaches come and go, but we must always protect the Shield. You guys be safe. Thank you guys for watching.